This is it, guys. Bitcoin has officially broken above 65K. That is the key level that we discussed on the last show as being absolutely integral in terms of confirming the uptrend. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what my strategy is here with altcoins. Many alts are up. Tremendous amounts today, actually. The vibes are well and truly back. If you go into the 24-hour chart, you have SHIB up 21%, Bread up 15%. As you can see, a lot of the meme coins are leading. I'm going to give you a couple of the top meme coins that I think could be next to run, because this is clearly leading the rotation slightly later in the video. You can see that some other coins that have been dead for a while are starting to wake up. We've got some L1s also running, Phantom, Arweave, Nia's doing really well, which we discussed, Rune. So everything is up. Everything's looking good. But let's go a little bit more into strategy today, what I'm waiting for in terms of what I think would confirm the uptrend 100%, because right now we are in the midst of a confirmation, and also the current trades that I'm looking at. If you do enjoy this crypto alpha, I'm going to help navigate you every single day in this market, because it is a pretty crazy market at the moment. There's lots of opportunity. I'm going to be here giving you the early alpha. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit that post notification bell so you don't miss anything. Those obviously who have watched the shows this week would have gotten some pretty nice entries on some of the breakout altcoins that we were discussing. All is looking good, but I think the fireworks probably haven't even, well, they definitely haven't even begun yet from a macro perspective. But we'll also need to talk about the shorter term and how to navigate the current market. I want to begin here with an observation as to the current market conditions that we're in, because this isn't full bull. This is a rally, and it's a pretty strong rally, but it's not a crazy mania rally like we saw in March. Retail isn't fully back yet. This is not a broader altcoin-wide rally. This is what I like to describe, as you can see in front of you, as a popcorn market. What is a popcorn market? This is essentially indicative of the early stages of a broader rally, where altcoins that have been suppressed into compression downtrends start to break out, decompress from these trends, and create new uptrends. This is the first move that you need to confirm a new uptrend. The very important breakouts where alts start slicing through those resistance levels that have previously kept them down. So this isn't full bull. This isn't like an altcoin season or anything like that. This is simply altcoins coming out of compression into expansion, which is an exciting phase, because in a popcorn market, the reason I'm calling it that is because you see altcoin pops. One day an AI coin might pop. One day a gaming coin that's been beaten down for months might pop. One day an L1 that has really solid tech and a good chart and not a lot of sell pressure that just look dead might pop. So it's a popcorn market because these rotations are happening super quick. Now, there are some sectors which are rotating much stronger than others. Those are pretty clear. We'll discuss some of them today. AI, meme coins, L1s, RWA. These are the things that I'm seeing right now performing really well. And a lot of the coins that really outperformed in March that have since underperformed, they're the ones that are performing really well again. So actually, playing the current market conditions is not a challenge. It is quite simple if you just follow a basic strategy of identifying relative strength and playing continuation longs. We'll get into that strategy in just a second here. But I wanted to make that observation that we are currently in the popcorn market phase, which is the first phase before broader expansion. Now, what is triggering this expansion? Well, the first reason is obvious. It's the fact that we were just compressing for so long, we're in a downtrend for so long, that at some point you were going to get that expansion. Now, I discussed this a lot over the last few months, and maybe it became tiresome for some because the market was boring, but I kept saying, like, the longer we are here compressing, the longer we are here testing and just consolidating below the previous all-time high, the higher chance I thought we were going to get an expansionary phase. And Q4 is the quarter where I expected that to happen. What we are seeing now is just a few days before Q4, the market's starting to finally price in some of the bullish factors that we currently have in front of us in the lead up to Q4. I do believe there is a little bit of seasonality at play here. What do I mean by that? Because Q4 is historically a very strong period for Bitcoin and for altcoins, the market is slightly front running that at the back end of Q3 because people don't want to buy at the top. So there's a bit of pre-positioning. The one factor that leads me to believe this could get bigger though, and isn't simply buy the rumor, sell the news, is the fact that the pre-positioning is mostly happening from crypto natives and insiders. So you are likely crypto native if you're watching this video. I'm referencing the people that have been heavy in the market over this year, the people that have been trading the market, the people that have kept watching my videos. You guys are the ones like positioning right now. Most retail and a large contingent of my follower base is retail, isn't even really back yet, because the videos in March across all channels were exploding, getting like 6-figure views. Engagement on Twitter was insane. It's coming back a little bit. Like, this video might get 30,000 views, but we're not hitting 100K. And until we're hitting 100K, that's not retail mania. So it's kind of nice that we're getting this initial rally without having retail mania fueling it. And that is why I believe this is largely indicative of insiders, crypto natives pre-positioning ahead of Q4. Now, you may see, we'll discuss the Bitcoin chart in a minute here and what I'm seeing on it, a slight decline at the beginning of Q4 because people will like buy the rumor, sell the news. I do expect this gets eaten up pretty quickly though, and we should be able to continue the uptrend, but I will get into that TA in a second. What is driving this beyond just seasonality though? There are a few other factors. The first one is obvious. The stock market is at all-time high and Bitcoin is significantly lagging. So stock market is at all-time high. If you look at Bitcoin, it's below all-time high. How far below? It's like 12% below. Look at the stock market, above the previous high, it's sitting 1.72% above. So stocks have been outperforming. Typically what happens is when Bitcoin lags for an extended period of time, at some point it always plays catch up and ends up lowering the discrepancy. And that is what we're currently seeing on Bitcoin, a repricing out of the sheer fact that it's been so underpriced versus equities. Now, Bitcoin has a strong relationship to equities in terms of its correlation coefficient, which is one of the reasons why they largely follow each other. But there is one factor which Bitcoin follows even more than equity prices, and that is global liquidity. One of the reasons why I believe this run could get much bigger and why it's already starting is because of the factor of global liquidity increasing. And this is being driven by none other than China right now, who are considering injecting 1 trillion yuan, which is $142 billion of capital, into their biggest state banks to increase their capacity to support the struggling economy. So the economy's struggling, they're trying to stimulate it. What are they going to do? Basically print money, inject liquidity into the economy. Bitcoin is very responsive to liquidity. What are we also seeing? We're seeing rate cuts in the US, and easing of monetary policy also helps the monetary landscape for Bitcoin to perform well. So these two factors are obviously tangible positives, but they're also creating a narrative for Bitcoin right now. And then a lot of traders are looking at stocks and like, well, stocks have run a lot. Bitcoin's still not at all-time high. There's a little bit of a catch-up trade here, and TradFi guys are also playing the move as well. So this is what's building momentum for crypto right now. Just keep in mind that the effect of the global liquidity injection likely won't take place straight away. Bitcoin usually lags by a factor of months. Sometimes it can lead in anticipation of a major liquidity injection, but I don't believe we're going to see the effects of this increased stimulus until potentially mid next year or beyond. That's when I think maybe a blow off top for crypto and equities will occur. I don't think it's now. I think this is really still a pre-positioning phase, which by default makes it an accumulation phase, and we'll get into that slightly later in the video. But clearly, the Chinese liquidity injection is a major factor here, and you can see the factors summed up by ALO. Beginning of the Fed easing cycle, China activating new stimulus, gold making new all-time highs, which Bitcoin's also lagging. By the way, Bitcoin's also somewhat, not as much as equities, but still somewhat correlated to gold. Bitcoin setting up a monthly bullish engulfing candle after 6 months of consolidation. Let's touch on this final point. Let's look at the Bitcoin TA. So in terms of TA, let's not start on the monthly, let's start on the daily, and then we can move across the time frames. Looking at the daily chart right now, I'll delete this line because it's not really relevant. It's just an idea that I have. You can see that Bitcoin has had its first daily close above 65K. Now, if you've been watching my shows, for months I've been saying, look, the major mid-range pivot point for Bitcoin, the must-hold region for Bitcoin, is actually $64,800. And that is the level that we are closing above. Technically, we are making a higher high above 65K, and we are also closing above the horizontal resistance. This is a significantly important level, as previously it's dictated Bitcoin's tendency to move either towards the bottom of range low on a breakdown or the top of range high, all-time high at 73K on a breakout of this level. So the thing is, with Bitcoin, if we want to make an all-time high, I mean, there's not even a point in talking about 73K if you can't even hold the crucial mid-range pivot point, which we are currently closing above. So this is the first step. This higher high right here is the first step to confirm the uptrend. Why? Because we've had a downtrend. So we've had lower highs the whole way. This is the first higher high. Very, very important. Now, I do want to issue a little bit of caution here. Yes, we got a daily close, but the weekly close is much more important. And then expanding from that, the monthly close is even more important. Now, I don't really believe you can trade off monthly closes because it's such a high time frame. That's more of a general bull market versus bear market indicator. Spoiler alert, the monthly chart is looking very, very good right now. But it's definitely this daily and weekly close that I'm currently keeping my eye on, considering at the time of uploading this video, there's like 2.5 days until the weekly close. A weekly candle close above 65, I think is going to build a bit of momentum. Now, there's always a chance we do end up faking out here, and this is a higher high and we come back down. The good news is, since we've had a daily close above, which we didn't get last time, and since we have cleared the previous high, from a pure structural perspective, because it's a higher high, even if we did dip, I would expect a higher low as well. So there's a scenario here where Bitcoin keeps pumping, comes back down, right? Dips past this level, sweeps some liquidity under this level here where a lot of people will have stops. Bitcoin loves to do that and trap people before reclaiming and making a higher high again. Because technically, this is a higher low as well. So Bitcoin can actually pull back to 60 theoretically. I think it'll be closer to maybe 62 if we do get a pullback. But just keep in mind, it can put in a scare. Just because it closes above 65 doesn't mean this has to be the floor. No, it's a higher high, which is important because this is potentially an uptrend now starting to form, but it can also come down before making a new high. Crypto is all about trends. I'll explain what I mean. Look at the downtrend here, right? You have your lower highs and you have your lower lows. Classic downtrend. For this to be a full reversal, you need the same thing to happen. Higher highs and higher lows. Doesn't mean we can't get dips. In fact, we will get dips. And those dips, after a confirmed uptrend reversal, become dips for buying, and that's why you need your altcoin watch lists ready. We're going to talk about a couple later today, but I put out an amazing video a couple days ago where I went through my altcoin watch list, so also make sure you watch that after today's video. But the TLDR here is I'm waiting for a weekly close to start getting very excited, because you can't get too crazy excited on a daily close. Even though technically it's a higher high, that gives me confidence that if we did come down, it would be a higher low as well. Now let's talk about altcoins, because that's what's happening on Bitcoin, but altcoins have pretty strong confluence with Bitcoin right now. This is total 3. This is the downtrend that we've been looking at for months. I can finally announce we are now officially out of the downtrend. Yes, we are out of it. We are out of the channel. Now, does that mean we won't get a dip to maybe retest this level? No. This is actually the drawing I had. Very funnily, on the show 2 days ago. This was before we broke out, by the way. We're following it exactly. Now, if my drawing, and it was a rush drawing, so I'm not necessarily, saying this is the law, but it's a rough idea. If this drawing plays out, what you could expect over the next few days is an impulse up before maybe a retrace, maybe Bitcoin pulls back down below 65 before continuation. That would roughly align with my thoughts on Bitcoin as well. Once again, it's just an idea. They can keep pumping, but even if they do, I still think we get the pullback. Even if it's not a clean retest of this blue line, it could still potentially pull back. And that is something I anticipate. I don't think it'll be up only. Like, even during these rallies, right? It's never up only. It's up and then a dip, and then up and then a dip, and some big dips as well, and then up and then a big dip, then a big dip to fake people out before it smashes through. The momentum shift here was a break of these zones. So if you're into TA, sorry, you can't quite see because I'm like blocking it. I'll show you here. If you're into TA, you could have de-risked here and then gotten back in on a break of the previous high. It goes up, it consolidates, it goes up. You actually got a clean retest before highs. So this is like 1, 2, 3. This is like 10 pullbacks before highs in March. So the same thing's going to happen. Even if this is the beginning of a new uptrend, which it looks like it, right? There's still going to be a bit of a step ladder pattern happening where you get drawdowns, and a lot of you are going to be freaking out on those days. And spoiler alert, I am probably going to make some bearish thumbnails over the next few weeks where, is it over? That kind of stuff. That's just the inner YouTuber in me trying to get clicks. The reality is, you guys know if you watch the shows, if you watch the content, my theses, that's proper English, don't change. My content this whole year, I've stuck to my rules. I've even said in some videos that I'm selling and the thumbnail might be super bullish, right? At the top, I think in April, I remember back earlier in the year, I said I'm actually de-risking here just because I'm a bit worried due to some of the geopolitical tensions. Market ended up dipping a lot, but the video might be packaged with a bullish thumbnail. Just keep that in mind. Always watch my videos properly because it annoys you. Sometimes people will just see the thumbnail and then comment like, oh, you're bearish today. You were bullish yesterday. It's like, no. If you watch these videos every day, you know I'm not flip-flopping. I'm the same. The charts that I'm showing here, this total 3 chart, You guys know I've been showing this for months. This pattern I've been showing for months, and I've said time and time again, you're either buying at the bottom of the red zone or you're waiting for a breakout and you're not buying in the chop. Luckily, we were buying in the red zone, so we should have gotten some good entries, and now you're getting potentially an opportunity to buy the breakout. Now, just like Bitcoin, if you are planning on buying the breakout, you also want to probably wait for a weekly close here. And just like Bitcoin, you also have this previous high that we need to close above. Although Bitcoin closed on the daily above 65, altcoins have not. And that's the first step here to confirm. Sunday is going to be a big day on alts. We've had a pretty good week. I'm pretty happy, and I'm taking some profits today, even though we're just breaking out, because we've had a freaking killer week in the Mars High Club. Congrats to everyone that's been in on these trades. Like, this has been our best week in months. Like, the members are freaking killing it. Paradise, who's our head low time frame trader, has 200, 300, 400, 500% profits, like literally coming out his rear end daily. Like, it's just flooding out. I don't know if that terminology is correct, but it's insane. Like, the group is insane, and this is all like in the last 24 hours. One member here even said that, how lucky are we to be part of the Mars High Club right now? It's a great time to be alive. We're just getting started. Absolutely feel like I've really found my feet finding MHC. So it's been amazing to see, although this year's been hard, like the real rewards of our labor start to come to fruition. If you're not in the group, and now is the perfect time to join. You're getting a potential new uptrend. You're getting new trading opportunities almost daily. Yes, before it was slow. Sometimes people in the group were like, Miles, give me trades. And I was like, look, I don't have anything right now because I'm not going to force anything. Now, since it's a popcorn market, you're getting trades breaking out left, right, and center. And this is where our analysts and myself included really shine on our ideas. So if you do want to join, I recommend now's the time. And at some point soon, because our members are creeping up, we're going to have to cap it again, because I said that I want to cap it at 1,000. There's a little bit of room left. So I recommend getting in while you can. There's a link in the description below, and you'll get in straight away because we're not waitlisting it. We just have a cap. So if you sign up, you'll literally be in straight away as soon as you receive a confirmation email, and you can start receiving the alpha today. That's that. Let's get into alts now a little bit. Now you kind of know my macro feeling, what I'm looking at on the charts. Let's get into some specific altcoin trends that I'm currently looking at. The first thing is, alluding to what I said at the start of the video, is you want to be identifying relative strength. A lot of the narratives which performed earlier in the year are, who would have guessed it, rearing their heads again. AI, by far the strongest performer. Memecoins, a very strong performer. Interestingly, L2s, like even Mantle, which I spoke about a couple of weeks ago in a dedicated video, is up, which is interesting, even though L2s have underperformed. I don't think they overperform L1s. I don't think they overperform DeFi, but the reason they're performing is because they were so beaten down. I actually had a section in my thread where I talked about a lot of these VC coins that have been like oversold, potentially having strong runs just because they've been so oversold. And that's why I'm calling it a popcorn market, because you have coins that are like in downtrends, like severe downtrends, like the L2s. They just get a bit of life breathed back into them as they start to break, because they've just been so compressed. They need to expand. These aren't the coins I'm most interested in for continuation longs though. Like on those retests, on those dips, like following that step ladder pattern I discussed before, if that does play out, like that uptrend reversal, and remember Sunday, we have to have a weekly close, but have this plan in mind, have your watch list ready. I'm more interested in getting in on those pullbacks in the stronger coins, and I still think AI meme coins are RWA, but there aren't that many options there. L1s, these are generally the way to go. There are some exceptions, but these are generally the way to go. Unless like an L2 is showing like crazy relative strength, which from a weekly chart perspective, they're still not. But on the weekly time frame, which obviously on the chart, you're going to use like a 4-hourly chart or a 1-hourly chart. If you're on TradingView, they're doing okay. But let's talk about the memes, because I think this is what we need to talk about, because they are the strongest performers, and there are a few that are playing catch up now. So what happened was we got PopCap leading the pack. This led. Now I'm not buying PopCap, although it's broke an all-time high, because I feel like I've missed the boat there, and I'm all about getting early on this channel. So I'm looking at the next rotation. I'm happy to say that there are a few rotations that are starting to play out now. We haven't really missed it. You're still pretty early. Let's look at WIF firstly. WIF is a breakout that I posted at $2 on my Twitter. This was one of the only trades from that video a couple days ago that I was comfortable taking alongside things like NIA, which are also up, because the TA really aligned for me to long. WIF is now at 230, so it's up a decent chunk. It's now breaking above that range low. A daily close here, and I genuinely think you could open another long and then set your stop below and just manage your risk management on the uptrend. That's the good thing about uptrends. If we go into a confirmed uptrend, you can kind of long these coins on the retests, and you can set your stop like below the previous wick depending on the time frame you're on, 4 hourly, daily. Paradise, our low time frame trader in the Discord, trades a lot in the 4 hourly. So do I in terms of entries, but I use daily for confluence. And I show the daily in these shows because I think for most of you, framing your trade ideas in the daily and entering on a lower time frame like the 1 hour or 4 hour is the way to go for the average person, especially if you're doing like simple TA. So WIF's been a really good one that we've been in, but PEPE, I think, is playing a bit of catch up here. Now, if you look at Velo, you can actually compare the charts. So look at WIF. It broke above the previous high. So it's been in a downtrend like Bitcoin, right? So you got the lower highs, like this. This is the first higher high. And you're also getting higher lows. So downtrend, new uptrend. A lot of alts look similar. For PEPE, which is below, it's the same. You see the downtrend, but it hasn't confirmed a new uptrend because the first thing it needs to do is close above the previous high, which it's now testing. So I think this could move pretty quickly up to this level here, which from this current level is a 37% move to catch up to some of the other coins. WIF is leading it slightly over the coming days. So PEPE is one on a break here. I'm very interested in longing. If you do look at the chart here, we actually got our entry on this green zone here, which was great. It just filled very, very close. I got a small entry, not my full position. I opened my next position on the break. I also posted this chart I did a show 2 days ago on YouTube, and I also did a tweet. So you guys should have had that on your watch list and potentially have entered here. Because we didn't get a clean retest, you probably either only got a third or half of your position in. The next bit of your position comes on either a break of this level or a break of the previous high, a close above the previous high, which is this level, which I want to see. And then you can put your like stop somewhere here if you're trading leverage. If not, you can just ride it and set your stop like literally here. And then you can have a wider stop gap, which is roughly going to be 22%. If you're trading $1,000 and you're willing to lose 200 on this continuation idea, I don't hate it, but you've got to be willing to have that parameter going into it. If you're just buying spot and holding for the cycle, just wait for pullbacks and get in on the pullbacks. It's really that simple. You guys will notice I'm going a lot more execution talk these days than I used to because I've realized that was a big, issue with my audience. Like we would pick really winning coins and I'd be surprised when people are like, I'm 70% down. Then I realized maybe on the shows I need to do more talk about potential invalidations, entries, exits, because I think that's important. I'm not going to be here to give them to you all the time. Obviously in the Discord, we're talking about them all day. So if you want a bit more hand holding, that would be a great place to be. But I'm going to do a better job, or try at least to give you some more of the technicals on the show. So I'm becoming more of a TA-based channel. But it also combines well with my fundamental nous. And I think that's what makes this channel special. I don't know. You let me know though, because you're the viewer. You'll also notice I'm not editing these videos. Like I used to like edit them a lot. Like I would fuck up and then I'd be repeating like lines, but I'm just keeping all the mistakes in now because I think it's funny and it shows my personality, which also I don't think at times I showed on the show as much. Like I think people in the Mars High Club, like because you do the AMAs and I'm a bit more personable, kind of know me, but these shows I'm coming out of my shell a little bit more and just being more authentic. So if that means leaving mistakes in, I'm gonna leave them in. So those are some of the setups I'm seeing in terms of the meme coins. I really recommend, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, watch this. Today I went into a bit more of an update based on where we are, given the fact we did get the Bitcoin daily close and my plan. So in terms of execution, I think today's video was really valuable. But if you want all the altcoin setups I'm looking at, I did the full watch list video yesterday. It's called "You Must Hold These Altcoins in October." Go watch this video. I think this is a really, really important one. I'll leave it in the description below. And all of those setups I'm keeping updated in the Mars High Club, in the Trading Talk channel with the other analysts. You can see we're posting charts all the time in here to keep people updated. And I did a thread with some of these charts as well, but obviously I can't post a thread every time I have an update, like the WIF chart, for example, which broke out, or the PEPE chart. So most of the updates are in the Discord, but obviously I'll do my best on these shows as well, where I can, to update you. And honestly, that's it. That's the alpha for today. That's what I got. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. Little update. But I will be here either tomorrow or Sunday, probably Sunday, because that's going to be the weekly close, and that's going to be really important in terms of execution. I think next week's going to be a big week, so make sure you have that notification bell on. If we do reject here, that could also create opportunities. Like at the end of the day, we have now made a high daily close on Bitcoin, so the lower high could be a great dip buying opportunity, and especially if altcoins are broken out and we get confluence back into key zones on a lot of alts. What do I mean? Like, let's say PEPE rips now, right? And then Bitcoin rejects and we get a retest here. That is such a nice setup with clear invalidation to get in on a long. So that wouldn't be the worst scenario either. Don't FOMO, right? We still have to close on Sunday. Yes, there are some altcoin longs we're in now, which is great, and I'm feeling good about them, but I'm not putting my full stable stack into alts now because there are some things that need to play out in terms of me buying like heavier in spot. So right now I'm mostly being picky with my entries, entering some trades. I entered a few this week and just riding them basically and taking profits when I'm happy with it and doing a bit of rotation, playing the popcorn game. That's the game right now. That really is the game right now. But in a few days we could be dealing with a confirmed uptrend, which is gonna have a lot of opportunity within it. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Links in the description to the Mars High Club and the video that I did a couple days ago, which has a lot of the chart setups and the altcoins that I'm looking at. I won't repeat them, but they're the same. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.